All right, gang, welcome back to our investment challenge here on Riverview. It is May, it is hailing, and then it's going to rain. It's going to be a very, very nasty day out today, unfortunately, but that's okay. We don't have any specific harvest to do today. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and do the second application of fertilizer here on our grass field that we drilled in the last episode, or seeded in the last episode. And kind of had some ideas. A lot of you mentioned in the comments that why don't I just utilize the production for the pig food. And there are certain productions out there, and to be honest with you, on ModHub, there's only a couple right now. But I did find one, nonetheless, that will allow us to make pig food that does not require potatoes. And as I've mentioned many times, that is my least favorite thing to do. So I'm actually kind of excited about that. At some point on the channel in FS25, we will do potatoes. I promise it's going to happen. But since we found this production, and we've got a little bit of funds to play with, we're going to utilize that, and it will mean I do not have to do potatoes. However, it does mean we need to do either corn or sunflowers, I think. We'll look at it here in a bit, but... So we have to buy, a harvester and a header. We don't have any of that. We can lease it, right? In this series, we are allowed to lease things. So that is a possibility for us, but... We'll see how we get along and where we get to, and we'll kind of go from there, right? We'll play it by ear. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully you're all doing well. Things are good here. As long as work can slow down for me, things are good here. But work's a little brutal. I've been mentioning that for the last couple of months, and it really hasn't changed. It's still absolutely taken over my life right now, so... Is what it is. It happens. Gotta make money, right? I gotta have the job. I can't live off of YouTube, although that would be awesome, but I don't think I'll ever get to that point, but you never know, I guess. Some pretty heavy hail right now. Kind of hard to see a little bit there, right? To see where we're actually spreading the fertilizer versus where we haven't. I think for the most part we got this whole field done, though. Let's just take a look at it and see if we can figure it out. Let's see. Go to the right thing here, Z. A little section here and a couple little minor spots, which I'm not that concerned about. Let's just try to touch up that little section that I missed there. I am off already. It's over here. All right. Right here. And we're done. Good. Alright, so this field's good, ready to go. Now, it does pose a question on what we're going to do with that small little field we made up there. As you recall, we made a tiny little field up there. We were going to potentially do potatoes because that's what I thought I was going to have to do. But now that we have this new production, we won't necessarily need that. But the thing we need to do, though, is go ahead and put that production down. And it's right here. It's 50 grand. It's not cheap by any means. But it does give you the option to do corn, wheat, and I think soybeans, maybe? I think those are the three. Evidently, some of this area over here we don't even own, which I didn't really expect that to happen. I think, you know what? Just to make sure I don't screw anything up, let's go ahead and turn on the interactive zone markers. I want to make sure there's nothing behind it. I don't think there is. But if there's like a drop-off or a pickup behind it, no, there's not. Okay, good. So we can kind of lean this up against this shed here if we want to. I think I'm going to put it kind of like that, I think. Let's walk over here and see how it looks. Yeah, I'm okay with that. There's not really a whole lot of room to move back in here if you needed to, but I guess if you had a small enough person, they could squeeze in there, maybe. I don't know. Okay, we're good. I'm good with it. That works for me. So let's go ahead and turn that back off. Now, let's go ahead and show it off here really quick. So it is a pig food mixer. It has multiple options, as you can tell. So we can do corn, barley, and soybeans, or corn, barley, and sunflowers, or corn, wheat, and soybeans, or corn, wheat, and sunflowers. So there's a couple of options here we can choose from, right? It holds a lot. We've got that big, massive field, which is going to play a pivotal role here. That big, massive field is the problem is going to take us a while to kind of build up what we need here. But based off of what I'm seeing here, that big field should be corn. Corn is what we need more of than anything else. So I'm thinking maybe we do either sunflowers or soybeans on the tiny little field here. Is it going to be enough? Probably not. We might be able to expand it out a little bit more now that we know what we're doing, kind of. I've also thought about maybe selling this house, which we talked about, and moving the house down here. Where I had thought about potentially putting it is where we ended up putting this production, but it wouldn't really allow me to put that, that house there anyway. But I'm also thinking maybe if I nestle the house somewhere like right in here, right next to the silo, right next to the shed, we've got a view of our grass field out here, and then also we have a view of that gorgeous entryway with the water and the fence and the trees. That kind of seems like something that would be good to do as well. Now, that is going to be a little bit of a waste of money if we do that. I believe if we sell this house, we're not going to make a whole lot of money off of it. 16,259. So yeah, we're not making a ton of money, and I think the house that I would want to put down is like 45 grand. So it's not cheap. It would be a very expensive investment if we wanted to do that. I guess I could do the $35,000 one. Let me see if it'll even work, what I'm thinking here. Now, I don't know which way I'd want the house to face. I don't know if I want this to be the front of the house, the way that we're looking at here, or the front of the house to be looking at it this way. I guess I'm impartial. It doesn't really matter. I guess you would want probably your back porch, because it's got, an area to sit and eat and grill out. You'd probably want that overlooking this, but I think from a perspective of where your house normally would be, it probably makes a lot more sense to have the front of the house facing your road. But I don't necessarily think that means it has to be that way, right? Let me see here. How are we doing here? Are we inside of things? We probably are. It's hard to see with this tree in the way, I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah, that's going to be a little difficult to do, I think. Because we are inside of the silo or the shed here. But if I push it back far enough, we might not be. Well, it's down there now. There's nothing we can do about it now. Yeah, I'm okay with it. It's not the best thing, I don't think, but I don't think it's terrible either. It's a little awkward, maybe. But you're a farmer anyway, right? You want to be able to look at stuff. You want to be able to see things. It's fine. It'll work fine. It'll work just fine for us. Now, I want to clean this up a little bit, and we need to go ahead and sell the other house since we have went ahead and moved house. Okay, so that opens up this area a little bit more. But again, I think the problem here is going to be this, right? I do think it might be smart for us to move this around a little bit. And try to take up more of this land here. Because the sheep are starting to they're starting to reproduce at a high rate now. We're starting to get a lot of sheep. They're starting to eat through the grass. Not that we're in any concern at all of the grass running out anytime soon, but eventually it will. Because this is not a very big field. I'd like to make it bigger, but again, if I make it any bigger, this is going to be the problem. All right, well, let's just hold off on that. We'll drill something in here today, and we'll just see how much we get out of it. I don't think it's going to be much, but we'll see how much we get out of it. While we're here, let's just go ahead and do a really quick cleanup here. I'm not going to spend a bunch of time on this. I'll do a lot of this probably off camera if I want to make it look any better, but let's at least make it look a little realistic here. You would not have a house on gravel like that. You know what I mean? And then the trees are jumping all over the place, causing me to glitch a little bit, but we're just going to do what we can to play ball with it and just deal with it, right? Okay, so there's that. So then we're going to add a little bit of a sidewalk here. Let's do flagstones. So those of you that have been around the channel for a while know that, I don't know, it's been almost 2 years ago now, I guess. My wife and I bought a new house, which is just around the corner from where our old house was. The old house we had was very much like a starter type of home. This house we got a really good deal on because somebody had paid to have them make the house and then backed out of it closer to the end when it was almost ready. So they gave this house to us for a really, really good deal, one we couldn't really pass up, and only bumped up our payment slightly for each of us. If you take the house and split it in half, if that makes any sense, right, on your payment. It's not really the most perfect setup here, but I'm hoping once the rendering starts to fix itself, there we go, it kind of makes more of a traditional area here. Yeah, that's fine. We'll go with that. Anyway, speaking of the house, right? So we had to take it, man. Somebody else was going to grab it from us quickly, and we just made a decision and went for it. Well, our old house didn't have a basement at all. This one does have a basement. It's really nice. And my dad, for a long time, I don't know if I've ever talked about this or not. I think I have. My dad, for a long time, when I was really, really young, we owned a small... well, I don't even know if I would call it I guess it's kind of like a farm, but it was more like just a mom-and-pop type of farm where, we had, I think, 20 acres, something like that. I mean, and we moved away from that before I was even in first grade. So I'm talking about really, really young, right? And, so we had that, and then we moved, and he became a truck driver. But for a while, when we had that house with the farm, he built houses. So my dad's actually going to come over, and we're going to work on making a patio on our house right now. Just a small patio, not a very big one. All right, that'll work for me. That's pretty good. It's good enough. It's good enough. It does the trick, gets the point across. We've got grass that needs to be mowed. I probably should have made some smaller grass, but it was going to grow up to this point anyway at some point, so why not leave it that way? We've got an entryway to the house. It's good. I like this as a back entryway, I guess is what you would call it. We just need to make the front entryway really quick now, and we're good. And I'm going to kind of imagine like this is an area where we would park our cars if we had a car. We don't have one right now, but if we did, right, this could be like an area to park our cars, then we could walk up to the house from here. So where was I getting at with my dad and all that? I don't know. I don't know what I was trying to get at there, honestly. I think I was just trying to say that, this tree is really causing me some mayhem here. Oh, boy. There goes the trees again. Oh, we've painted the ground all over the place. I'm going to have to come back and touch this up. That is going to drive me crazy. But you get the point, right? I'm just going to leave it like that. You get the point. I'm just going to have a little walkway coming up to here from this area here. So you get what I'm trying to accomplish there. Let's go ahead and drop that off. Let's go ahead and grab the drill. We'll go start drilling the small field up there, and while we do that, I'll try to round out what I was talking about with my dad, hopefully. So we had a small farm. We moved when I was in first grade. He built houses for most of his younger life. When I say younger life, I'm talking about, I think my mom and dad had me when they were 24. So his life of his 20s, I think, for the most part, he built houses. And then he decided to... become a semi-truck driver. So my dad was a semi-truck driver for pretty much as long as I could remember. I think from about third grade on, he became a semi-truck driver, and he did that life for the rest of his life. Oops, sorry. I should probably fold this up, but I was hoping I can get there in time without running into traffic. But I might have to come back here and rehook this up and not pull it this way. I don't know what they're doing, but okay, go ahead. So anyway, became a semi-truck driver. And now that he's retired now, I'm showing my age a little bit, but he recently retired. My mom's still working, but he retired recently, slightly early. And with him being retired, and now that Grandma has sadly passed away, we're in the process of selling her house. So when all of that's done, he's going to come over here and he's going to help me build a patio, I guess is what I was trying to get at. That was a very long-winded version of me saying I'm going to help build a patio, and we're going to use flagstone, I guess is what I was trying to really get at. Didn't quite get there, but you get the point. Okay, so if we want to do sunflowers, we're going to need something else. I think, let's do a quick autosave. I think we can put like wheat or barley in here, though, for now. Eventually we can put sunflowers in there, but since we're not going to have that for a little while. Actually, you know what? We should do corn, barley, and soybeans. Let's do corn, barley, and soybeans. That's much easier. So let's put barley or soybeans in here. When can we drill it? That's the problem. Can we put anything in the ground today? We can do corn, carrots, green beans, red beets, rice, sorghum, soybeans we can do. We need to put soybeans in here. The problem is right now is we need to do the corn and today in this month, and we're not going to be able to, right? The corn needs to go in this field, and we're going to have to hold off on that for a while. So that's a little unfortunate, because that's not going to be ready to harvest anytime soon. It's another 2 months or so, 3 months maybe. And this drill cannot do that. Well, shit. It's wheat or barley, and I don't think either one of those can be drilled today. Shoot. Okay, well, I guess we'll take this back. I guess I'm gonna have to go buy another drill, or lease a planter. I'm gonna have to go buy a planter or lease a planter, I guess, because we need to get that something in the ground there. We really do. I don't want that just sitting around there like that when that's prime real estate for us to be able to make some more money and profit on, or at least begin the process of setting things up for the pigs. Right? I'm not gonna buy the pigs until we actually have some food we can put in there, and I don't want to just buy the food outright. I want to make the food myself. Now, it's one thing if you know, I make the food and buy them, and then you know, that's it, right? We've got to set up, but it is you know, it has to be at least 100 head, so it's not like it's you're going to need to have a decent amount of food in there, I guess is what I'm trying to get at, a decent amount of pig food in there. There's a chance, I guess, we could try to utilize a greenhouse to make pig food. I think there are some greenhouses where you can make pig food as well, if we wanted to speed it up a little bit, but nonetheless, that's still not going to provide enough to cover 100 pigs unless we put a ton of those greenhouses down, right? Matter of fact, I don't even know if that greenhouse is out on ModHub yet. I'm talking more from the perspective of FS22. There was a greenhouse that would, you know, you could produce pig food out of it. So I'll tell you what, I've rambled on for quite a while already. We're already 18 minutes into the video. That's insane. You guys need to tell me to shut up more. Let's get up to the shop here. I'll either find something to buy, or I'll lease a drill and or a planter. I keep calling it a drill, a planter. And yeah, we'll get started. All right, we are pulling up here, gang. We're utilizing the Keeneland here. I think we're utilizing this one for at least for a brief period of time. We're utilizing it in the Triple Threat Challenge. It's a nice one. It does allow, or I guess it's not Keeneland, it's Keverland? I don't know. Anyway, something like that. It does do a seed and a fertilizer, both at the same time, which is good, right? It saves us another process. Now, there is something in the used market that I'm contemplating buying. I think we're going to need to wait for this thing now that I'm seeing it. And as a matter of fact, I did not even look to make sure that we can even do this with the tractor we have. 180 horsepower. I think we have 180 horsepower, don't we? 175. So we're close. It should be fine. It should be fine. You might have just saw what I was talking about in the used market there. But there is a corn sunflower header in the used market. It's a nice one. It has the ability to be unrealistic. We won't utilize it as the unrealistic one, but it has that ability. If you wanted to upgrade it, you can do so to make the width larger, right? We won't be doing that, but it does have that ability to do so. It's 33 grand. It's not a ton of money. It is expensive, I guess I should say that, but it's little over half off. So I'm very tempted to potentially purchase that now. We are going to have to lease a harvester at some point and eventually hopefully buy one, but should I do sunflowers here or should I do soybeans? Let's do soybeans. Okay, we are underway. Now, this is going to be a bit of an awkward field here. It's not going to look proper. It's not going to look correct the way you should be doing this. So we're just going to have to kind of gloss over that a little bit. There's not really a whole lot we can do about it. But this field will be done quickly. When this field is done, we are going to go up to where our chickens are, and we're actually going to go ahead and start plowing up that area over there to turn that into a wheat or barley field. That is going to be our dedicated wheat and barley field for both the chickens as feed and for the pigs, truly. This field here, we'll have to just kind of, rotate around for whatever it is that we need. And then the big field, obviously, we can go back and forth between corn and sunflowers there as needed as well, right? We are still kind of lifting up the tires here, so it is having a little bit of trouble here. I'm a little concerned it's going to have some major trouble when we get to the other field. But I guess we'll have to play it by ear. We're not going at a fast clip by any means. We don't necessarily need to, though. So long as we get this done, I'm going to be happy. Still having some rendering issues. It's become worse all of a sudden since the most recent updates. You can see it down there below. It's very weird. I don't know why it's doing that. I mean, I am on console, but it's not like I'm on a, like an old generation console. I'm on an Xbox Series X, which is a pretty powerful machine, honestly. Certainly not anywhere near the level of, some PCs, but it shouldn't. I mean, this game shouldn't have that big of an issue rendering on the Xbox, is I guess what I'm trying to get at. Like, there shouldn't be any major issues here. It's not that demanding of a graphical game. Well, maybe they'll figure it out eventually. Who knows? But we're almost done already. We just got to go up here to the end here and then kind of do that little corner right there that was missed. We will need to do more than likely a second application of fertilizer on this field in the next episode. But at least we got something growing here. We're making major progress in the making major progress in this series, gang. We really are. If you think about it, I mean, we've got 2 drills now. We're actually owning equipment, which for a while all we were doing is leasing everything, right? Now we're going to go back to our new yard area, and we're going to put down a buying silo there. There is a small amount of seeds, I think, still up at the shop. But eventually we'll head up there and be able to fill it up. We'll probably do some kind of a contract at some point, or we'll be up there for whatever reason soon enough, and we can pick up the remainder of the seeds there and bring it back. But we're going to put down a buying silo just to make it easier on ourselves, make everything a little bit closer, right? We don't have to drive as far, wear and tear, all that stuff. Take a wide turn here. Get into first-person view. There we go. All right, we'll pack this up, put this away. We'll go get the other drill. And we'll head on over. Well, we'll get the plow, actually. Not even the drill. We're going to get the plow. And we'll head on over to the other field. I'm not sure we'll actually get that field drilled today or not. We'll have to see where we are as far as the time goes on OBS here once we're done with the plowing. But we're going to at least get that field plowed up. Let's go grab the plow. I will meet you over at the other field, gang, and we'll get started trying to make another field. Really, really excited, man. This is good. This was a great, different approach to take. This is going to help us speed up the process of this series a lot. All right, so I brought the plow all the way over here, gang, and then I thought to myself for a minute, and I said, what am I doing? I'm wasting this grass here. We might as well mow it and make some money off of it. If nothing else, at least put it in the actual pen for all the sheep, right? There's no reason for me not to. So that's what we're doing. So we evidently I did not turn on the mowers for the side here. Let me back up. But yeah, that's what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and mow all this grass up and make a little bit of money off of it, or like I said, drop it in the pen, if nothing else, for the sheep and the goats. Because not doing so is, I would be remiss if I didn't do that, right? We're just wasting, we're wasting easy money here, right? Free money, really. Well, I guess free is not the right word. We paid for the plot of land, but you get what I mean. So, slight change of plans. We will plow the field more than likely in the next episode. We're going to go ahead and take care of getting all this mowed up, windrowed up. I'm not positive if I'm going to buy our little belt system today or not. If we buy the belt system, which we certainly have enough money to do now, it will put us down to about 20 grand. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I was already talking about potentially buying that that header, right? And if I buy that header, we're not going to have enough to buy the belt. So I still haven't fully decided what I'm going to do. Honestly, right now, with it being such an early phase, that header would be sitting there for a while, not being utilized. So I'm kind of leaning towards changing my mind on that header, even though it's a great price. It's a nice long width of the for the header, right? It'll help us out in the long run. It's not really going to help us out immediately here, and I think immediate right now is what we should be focusing on. The grass field we created on our yard, is going to be ready to mow here in like 2 episodes, I think. Might even be ready to mow next episode, actually. But in any case, it's at least 1 to 2 episodes from now. So, you know, that's we're gonna probably utilize and get a little bit more out of that belt system immediately versus just buying the header to hold on to it for 6 months before we actually start probably getting to a point where we might need that. Actually, it's probably going to be longer than that. And I think I mentioned maybe potentially drilling something in here. If we were going to drill something in here, the only thing we could do, or plant something in here, the only thing we could plant in here is more soybeans, sunflowers, or corn. Not that we can't do that today. But I think I want to keep this as a wheat or a barley field, as I mentioned, more specifically for the chickens, because the chickens are right here, right? So then we can drop some of this off to the chickens whenever it's ready to harvest, and then the rest of it can be taken to be utilized as pig food. Or sell, I guess, if you want to do that too, right? Now I'm going to have to go back to the farm and grab, or the yard, and grab the windrow, and I'm going to need to go back there and get the trailer. Really, we need a second tractor now. It's at a point now where we need a second tractor. But as mentioned, if we buy the header and lease the belt system, we probably wouldn't have enough for a tractor. If we buy the belt system and forget about the header, I know for a fact we will not have enough money. So we're kind of in a hard spot right here. Maybe if I wouldn't have put down the new house, maybe we would have had enough money, but I still think we would have been cutting it pretty close. We also have to factor in the loan, right? We're getting the loan interest every month. Granted, it's much smaller than what it had been, but it is still there, and it is still playing a role in an effect, right? The hail has stopped. It is now just simply raining. There is a cloud up there, so clouds in the forecast. Just cloudy weather when the rain stops. This might end up being a little bit of a longer episode than I had initially anticipated, so those of you that enjoy the long episodes, this one might be one of those. Well, I'm not even might. It's going to be one of those. I think we're already eclipsed the 30-minute or near the 30-minute mark, and we're not even close to finishing this field yet, so... All right, the grass is pretty much done here. I'm just going to try to get this little end right here, and then we're going to call this one good enough. I got to go back, get the windrower, and then we'll make that decision on what we're going to do with the belt system. All right, we are done with that. So I'll head back, I'll grab the windrower, and yeah, I'm not sure if I'll do any kind of a time-lapse or anything. I might do, I don't know. I'm taking a shortcut here across the neighbor's yard. It's just a grass field, so it shouldn't cause any major issues, and they haven't said anything to me yet, so maybe they won't see it. Either way, I'm going to head back to the yard. I'll pick up the windrower. I'll see you back over here. All right, so I decided to go ahead and purchase the belt system here, gang, mostly because we've got that massive canola field, which when we harvest that, we're going to make a lot of money off of. We're probably going to put some of that into the production and make canola oil, but a lot of it's just going to be sold outright. So we're probably going to get all the money we spent on this back and more. So I decided to go that path, and we did throw in a little bit of a time lapse there. It was a small time lapse, but a time lapse nonetheless for the windrowing. Just go ahead and get that knocked out, right? Just knew that was going to take a bit, so might as well just go ahead and knock it out. So now this is a decent-sized field. It's going to take a little bit of time to get this done, but it's not going to take too long. We've got them in nice windrow paths here, and we can go at a pretty fast clip here doing this, 16-ish mile per hour on average. So it shouldn't take us too long, and I'm hoping all of it will fit into the trailer. We only need one trailer load. This is an unrealistic trailer, capacity size at least. So I don't think this field is quite big enough like the last one, where we're going to have to make 2 trips or anything like that. But I guess we'll find out. In any case, I did go with the green to match our John Deere tractor. I do not think our John Deere tractor is going to be going away anytime soon. And I also did a little bit of service to it. It was about $700. And we filled up the gas, as you saw, I'm sure. The gas was starting to get a little low. That was about $400 as well. So altogether, just over $1,000, I think, is what we spent there. Just doing some maintenance to the tractor off camera. Now, a lot of this, I say a lot of this, I shouldn't say a lot of this. A chunk of this is going to go in for the sheeps and the goats. The rest of it we're going to store. We're not going to have enough right now to be able to buy a silo or anything of that sort to turn this into silage, which is what we want to do. But by the next episode, we should have probably an idea or enough money or figure something out to make this into silage. We still have a lot of things. Well, I think it's everything. We still have, I think, everything on auto selling in our production. So we will continue to make money. As you saw there, we just made a little bit. Well, I don't know what time we actually started the loading of the grass here, but we were at just under 14,000. We're now over that. So we will make some money overnight for sure. The loan is becoming slightly more manageable as we carry along. It is still a massive loan. It's $850,000 to be exact remaining. I'm not going to pay anything off on the loan today. I normally pay off $5,000 every episode. We paid off $50,000 in the last episode, so I'm not going to pay anything else off today. We're going to hold on to that $15,000, well, minus the fees and the loan interest. We're going to hold off to whatever's remaining. Mostly because of what I just mentioned, right? I want to save up for getting another silage silo or something that we can turn the grass into silage from a production standpoint instead of utilizing a pit or something like that. And as I expected, we've got plenty of room here. We're not even halfway full here in the trailer, so this is good. And we are pretty much done here. I think there might be a little bit down here that I missed. I'm going to try to hit. That might just be a piece of grass I missed. I don't know. Oh yeah, that's just a piece of grass I missed. The rain and when it was hail before this makes it a little hard sometimes for the textures to see on the ground. I guess there's still a chance I could have missed a couple pieces somewhere around here, but we're going to say that's good enough. And we're going to leave the episode at that point, gang. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I would greatly appreciate it if you smash the like button for me, subscribe if you're new. All that stuff helps me out an absolute ton. Thanks so much to my 15 members. You want to become a member, links below in the description. Discord's down there. Everything you need is down below in the description. Oh, lost my breath there. Everything you need is down below in the description. Once again, thank you for watching. Thank you for your continued support. I'll see you next time.